Loose him and let him go. I want today to help remove the grave clothes from you. I want to help you walk free from the bondage that Christ has set you free from. Can I do that today? Can I help? Can me and you work together today to encourage each other? Can we do that? Welcome to day 11 of John 21, and we're in John chapter 11, where Jesus performs this miracle of raising Lazarus from the grave. Incredible story, but right there, sort of in the middle of this chapter, are these two verses that I think we should pay attention to, because I think it's a command almost to the believer. It's certainly a display of what you and I as believers should be, definitely a display of what the church should be, and I think we'll miss it if we're not careful. Verse 43, you know this one. Jesus says, Lazarus, come forth, right? And we know Lazarus comes forth. We know the story, right? Verse 44, though, it says, and he who had died, Lazarus, came out bound hand and foot with grave clothes, because he's been in the grave. That would make sense. And his face was wrapped with a cloth. Jesus said to them, loose him and let him go. Oh, goodness gracious. Jesus included other people in this incredible miracle. They didn't resurrect him. You and I can't resurrect you. I can't call you out of that dark place. Only Jesus can give you life. But as a believer, as the church, me and you should be helping to remove the thing that bound us. Remove the grave clothes. That has been, God has empowered the church, you and I as believers, to do that very thing. You know, because one of the things that I see, it's common. I've just seen it recently where this really well-known person who was kind of an evil person gave their life to Christ. And all of a sudden, there's all these believers that jump on this wagon, judging her. Listen, stop it. Shut up. Listen, we don't need that. Listen, Jesus called the church right there. Jesus called the people and said, listen, he has walked out, but he's going to need some help. He's going to need some encouragement. He still looks like the grave. He still smells like the grave. He's still going to act like the grave. But it's our job as the church to help each other to learn how to walk free and to live in the thing that Christ has called us to. And it saddens me because when I come to know Christ myself, I was not surrounded by people that were doing this. And I'm not trying to be hard because I know tons of people that are doing this now, but I wasn't surrounded by them. But I'm glad that I wasn't, because it taught me a valuable lesson. And it taught me that you and I as believers have the power and have been giving that mantle, that authority by Jesus himself to help loose each other. Our job is to encourage one another. Our job is to love one another. Our job is to extend mercy and grace to each other, right? And to empower each other with incredible words and just presence, right? And so, like, for example, if somebody screws up, right? I know tons of people that have come to know Christ. A few weeks later, they screw up because they're not far removed from the thing that Christ has pulled them out of. They have not learned how to walk free of that. But it's my job, and it's our job as believers, to help remove those things. And so instead of going to that person and saying, I knew they would screw up, instead of going behind their back and saying, yep, I knew it, I wouldn't take long, we should be ashamed. We should be like, you know what? No, I'm going to run to them. I'm going to help remove the grave clothes because they're still trying to sort it out. But here's the thing, is the reason why that doesn't happen is how it happened for me when I first came to know Christ, is because there's a lot of folks in the church today that have been called out of the tomb, but are still bound by the things that were binding them when they were in the tomb, because they themselves have not been surrounded by people that have helped remove those things. I don't want to get to the end of my life and to know that I helped pile more grave clothes on somebody that had been resurrected from a dark place, from a tomb, from a grave. I'd hate to know that that was me. And that's what happens a lot of times when we surround ourselves with those that are not free. It's vital that we find people that are free, because people that are free help free other people. But when you surround yourself with people that are nothing but bound, well, you'll never be free yourself, because you need me and I need you. I can guarantee this. I can't give you life, but I can guarantee you from our relationship that you're going to walk a little freer, and I'm going to walk a little freer too, because I'm going to reach up and pull that grave clothes off your shoulder. And I'm going to say, would you mind getting that around my ankle, because it's bothering me. And as we do that, we are the church. We are equipped by the very one that called Lazarus out of the tomb. That is the job of a believer. That is the church. Love you guys.